721 here, Big 550, KTRS. A couple of weeks ago, it was announced that the Missouri Auto Dealers is suing the Department of Revenue because the Department of Revenue allowed Tesla a license, a dealer license, to start selling Tesla cars here in Missouri, even though they don't have any dealerships in Missouri. We've talked about it from time to time. Then I read an interesting article in the National Review written by our next guest, Phil Kerpen. Phil, welcome to Big 550 KTRS.
Great to be with you.
All right, so you've done a little research on Tesla, and it turns out that there's a lot more to this Tesla story than is actually being told.
Yeah, it's one of these things. I've been seeing a lot of friends of mine, really, other conservatives, sort of singing the praises of Tesla and saying this is a fabulous, innovative company, and these bureaucrats need to get out of the way and let them flourish. And I just, I had in the back of my mind, aren't these guys huge subsidy harvesters who rely on government, who got special loans and special deals and tax abatements and subsidies and regulatory giveaways? Are they really a free market hero the way some people are portraying them? And so I did a lot of research, which I put together in the article you're referencing. It was on National Review, and you can also get to it through our website at AmericanCommitment.org. And it turns out that they're really not the good guys from a free market perspective. The whole company is premised on taking advantage of special government programs, taxpayer incentives, regulatory giveaways, and so forth. And in fact, they don't make any money from selling the cars. They sell the cars at a loss, but then they make all of their money back from government programs, essentially, that we pay for, especially a regulatory program out of California called Zero Emission Vehicle Credits, or ZEV credits, which they used to get $35,000 per car for. Now it's down to $20,000, but they're trying to get it back up to $35,000. That's money that other car manufacturers have to pay to them to comply with California's regulations, so that gets priced into other cars that other people drive, usually not the rich people who are driving Teslas.
Yeah, what was the point of the story where Elon, who is the guru over Tesla, thanked the American taxpayer for the money that he repaid? What was that story?
Well, they got a huge loan from the Federal Department of Energy. The same program that Solyndra was in. They were giving, out of the stimulus, they were giving out enormous loan guarantees, U.S. taxpayer-backed loans to these sort of, green energy and electric car companies, that kind of thing. And Tesla got this enormous loan at an extremely low interest rate, far, far below a market rate, basically a sweetheart loan from taxpayers. But part of the deal was that taxpayers, the U.S. Treasury, got a whole bunch of warrants that would have converted into Tesla stock, and that's how they would have been paid off for the investment. So the interest was extremely low. It's sort of a token interest rate. But the idea behind it was that if the company succeeds, taxpayers would make an investment return by exercising these warrants, which would be worth a lot of money because of the stock price. What Tesla did is, just before those warrants were about to vest, were about to become valuable for the U.S. taxpayer, they did a secondary public offering. So they sold more of their own company stock to the public, as their stock price was very inflated at the time because of electric car mania and all these other subsidies and so on. And they used the proceeds from that to pay off the U.S. Treasury loan early, which extinguished the warrants, and it basically prevented taxpayers from enjoying any of the upside of this company's booming stock price, which is why some financial analysts have said that in a way, this was actually worse than what happened with Solyndra, because the whole idea behind venture capital, which, by the way, government shouldn't be in the venture capital business, but if they're going to be in it, then they shouldn't get ripped off at it. And the whole idea behind it is you lose your money on 7 or 8 out of 10 companies that don't pan out, but the 2 or 3 that become big hits, you make all your money back and then some. That's how you're supposed to make money in that business. What Tesla did is they basically said, you're not going to get any of the upside. Here you have a big success, but we're going to get out of our loan early so that the taxpayers don't actually get any of the upside benefit of the stock price running up. And so when Elon Musk said, I hope the American people are proud of us that we've paid off this loan, it was a little bit ridiculous, because what's to be proud of? You paid it off early to avoid the taxpayers making any money on it.
Phil Kerpen, our guest, president of the American Commitment, and in the National Review is this story about Tesla and its subsidies. Phil, what's been the reaction since you've published the story?
A lot, actually. It's, I don't know, last time I looked at it, like 800 comments on it, so it's stirred up, it's got a lot of attention. Tesla's a very controversial company, so there are a lot of investors out there that are short Tesla stock, that think it's a bubble that's going to collapse, and so, they were all passing around my story, hoping that it's going to drive down Tesla's stock price or whatever. I don't own Tesla. I don't bet for or against it.
Right.
That's not the point that I was trying to make. And then, of course, the company's got lots of fanboys who sort of rally to its defense and so forth. The other thing that's interesting that sort of brings up the issue from the way you introduced the segment is the auto dealers all around the country have been passing this article around and saying, see, Tesla's not a free market hero because they're in this fight with Tesla because they don't want Tesla to be exempt from franchise dealer laws.
Right.
All the states require that if you sell automobiles to the public, you have to go through a dealer network. I actually think that those laws are probably unnecessary. I don't think there's a great harm to the customer if manufacturers sold cars directly. I think it's less efficient probably than going through dealers. So I don't think the dealers need to be as scared of that as they seem to be. But it's interesting because I even say in my article, I say, I'm not in favor of these laws. I just don't think we should say that Tesla's some kind of free market hero for fighting against them, considering all the subsidies and the whole history of the company. But the various auto dealer associations in the different states have been passing my article around, even though I kind of don't come down on their side on that issue.
Sure.
They like they want people to know who their opponent is, I guess.
Right.
And find my article useful for that.
Sure. And I think if there was an auto dealer here, and not that I'm speaking for the auto dealers, but I think they would tell you, hey, we just want to play by the same rules. And they're treating Tesla differently than they're treating the rest of the dealers. And so I think that's their biggest beef.
Yeah, and I actually think that's a very good point. They have a very good point on that. This is a company that just somehow manipulates the political process to get everything it wants. To get, they don't pay sales tax in California. Tesla, they're exempt. And they don't. And this new deal they just struck with the governor of Nevada is the biggest corporate welfare deal in U.S. history. It's worth at least $1.3 billion. They're not going to pay payroll tax or sales tax for 20 years. They're not going to pay property tax for 10 years, and they're getting $195 million basically in cash,
right,
tax credits that they can sell to other companies. And so, you look at the way they work their deals. Fortune, by the way, had an expose on how they sort of scammed Nevada into getting that deal by pretending other states were having similar offers and sort of all kinds of subterfuge and so on. And so, this idea that they can just come in, and of course, part of that Nevada deal is they exempted Tesla from their requirement of using auto dealers.
Sure.
Because, why wouldn't they? They're giving them all the other stuff. Look, I think if we're going to change the auto retailing laws in this country, there are a lot of other things I would change about the regulations of the auto industry also, if we're going to have a free market. But everyone should play by the rules. And the idea that these guys can get whatever they want just because they've got a slick CEO and good marketing and so forth is it's been very, very expensive for taxpayers, unfortunately. It's not like they're selling a car where the customer is paying the full cost.
Yeah, and
they're paying for those.
That's my out question. Phil Kerpen with us, president of the American Commitment. His article on Tesla and its federal subsidies is on that website, as well as it was published in the National Review. Phil, quickly, how much money is it costing the American taxpayer every time a Tesla car is sold?
Right now, the answer to that is about $30,000. It might go back up to about $45,000 if they can if they can convince the California regulators to give them back the credits they were getting a couple years ago. It has been as much as $45,000. Right now, it's about $30,000. So
we are subsidizing Tesla Motors, and while they're going to the bank telling everybody what a great, innovative company they are. There you go. Phil Kerpen, thanks for the time and great article.
My pleasure. Have a good one.
7:30 here, Big 550 KTRS. Let me talk to you